So make sure you guys are following along, taking notes, because we'll do a notebook check. So the test will be next week over this chapter. Probably Wednesday, but maybe some other day. We'll have to see. So we are still going to be completing the square like we did in our warm-up here. But we're going to look at this problem here, and we're going to complete the square, but let's look at it first. So I have x squared minus 14x plus 16 equals 0. This looks like an in-the-middle factor problem, right? What times what is 16 adds up to negative 14. So let's go through some of these. I think we're on... Lily, what times what is 16? Give me two things.
8, 2.
8 and 2, right? 8 times 2 is 16. And let's see, they should probably both be negative, right? Because they have to add up to negative 14. Is negative 8 plus negative 2 negative 14?
No.
Nope, so that didn't work. Greg, how else can I multiply and get 16?
Negative 1 and negative 16.
Yep, I can do negative 1 and negative 16, right? Is negative 1 plus
No.
negative 16?
Is
All
this
right.
the one where you make them 0?
We'll see. Yeah. Luis, what's another way I can get 16? I got one last one.
Oh, wait, what?
What is one last way I can multiply and get 16?
So, there's 4 and 4.
Yep. So let's do negative 4 and negative 4. Is negative 4 plus negative 4 negative 14?
Nope.
Nope. So even though this looks like an in-middle factor, we can't in-middle factor it. There's nothing that works. None of the possible combinations work. So what we're going to do is we are going to complete the square. And we're going to do this by getting rid of our current c. So right now I have an x squared minus 14x plus 16 equals 0. I'm going to get rid of my current c, because this current c is garbage. I don't want it anymore, because it doesn't let me factor. So I'm going to get rid of this c, and I'm going to add in a new c by completing the square. So to get rid of my current c right here, I'm going to minus 16 on both sides.
Isn't this what we did at the beginning?
Oh, it's I guess it is kind of similar. So we're gonna minus 16 on both sides, and we're gonna get x squared minus 14x equals negative 16. And after we do this, it is now just like our warm-up problem. We are just gonna complete the square like we did yesterday, like you did in your warm-up. So I'm gonna do b divided by 2, negative 14 divided by 2 squared, which is going to be negative 7 squared, which is positive 49, right? And I'm going to go straight into my shortcut, because you guys hopefully did your homework yesterday, practiced a bunch of these. So my shortcut says I'm going to have parentheses squared. It's going to equal whatever these two things added together are, 49 plus negative 16, which is 33.
No,
Easy.
35.
Yeah. Okay. And then inside this parenthesis, I will have x or y or whatever your variable is, and it will be next to it this first step you did right there, minus 7. And then we're going to go through, we're going to square root it and solve it just like a regular complete the square problem. So we are going to square root this first. Hey, hush, we're still going over this. Greg, hush, man. Oh, so we're going to square root both sides. We're going to get x minus 7 equals, and Delia, you got decimals. What's the square root of 33? It's going to be a decimal. 5. Let's just put 5.74. So the thing with today, you will get a lot of decimals. You're going to get a lot of decimals today, which is fine. So we square root first. I get 5.74 and negative 5.74. And then we have to keep going. We have to add 7 everywhere. We got to add 7 everywhere. And we're going to get x equals, what is it, 12.74. And is it negative? It's not negative 12.74. No, it would be a 3.
That's 1.2.
Are you sure about that?
2.74. No.
Yes.
Oh, one.
Ivory, what do you get when you do negative 5.74
It's
plus
1.26.
You don't trust me, Gonky?
I don't.
I
I got those shifty eyes.
You didn't even see my eyes.
I get lost in your eyes.
Let's keep that private, okay? Let's not talk about that in school. Alright, so 12.74 and 1.26. So you guys are going to get a lot of decimals here. And this is the only real new thing we're adding on, is we are just going to get rid of our current C to find a new C. Hello, headphones out. I'm laughing. You're a sympathetic laugher?
I'm laughing at
Alright, so we're going to go through, we are going to use completing the square to solve x squared plus 9x plus 15 equals 0. So you could try to end middle factor this one, but you won't be able to find anything that works. So hey, focus, this will be a short lesson as long as you guys quit talking. So help me, I'll give out a class-wide strike if you guys aren't quiet.
Gonky, that's good.
Alright,
Can I
Luis.
step out?
Greg.
He's just gonna leave it there?
Dude, look at him.
Those are
scared
It's fine.
She's still looking. I see how it is.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go through and solve this. So this is going to be an in-middle factor problem, or this looks like an in-middle factor problem, but we can't do that, so we're gonna complete the square. So the first thing we're gonna do is minus 15 everywhere. And we're gonna get x squared plus 9x equals negative 15. And now we're gonna go through and solve it like normal. So Ashlyn, what's the first thing I need to do?
You, minus 9, both sides?
No, we already did that with 15.
Oh.
So now it's a regular completing the square problem. Like we did in our warm-up.
2.
Divide.
Josh, you got it.
Wait.
Remember, we are doing b divided by 2 squared.
Oh.
Hush, let her answer.
So it'd be 9,
Yep,
right? Over 2.
yep, 9 divided by 2 squared. And then we're going to keep going through. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Kinsey, what's 4.5 squared?
Hold on, ready?
I say it's like 20.
Squared,
Yeah.
4.5.
What you gonna do tonight?
20.25.
Oh, I was right. It is 20 something. So 20.25. All right. Jace, what am I doing after that?
You're rewriting.
Yep, we're gonna use our shortcut, right? Yep. Yep. So we are gonna have an X. All right, Ruben, what's gonna be in here inside my parentheses?
X plus 4.5.
Yep. X plus 4.5. All right. So Meja, you help me out. What's negative 15 plus the 20.25 over here?
Negative 15?
Yep.
It'd be negative 5 point. That would be 5, would it? Oh, no, not negative
Like
5.
does this. Like does
Oh.
Because you think it would be, but it's not.
Hey, I said that. I said 5.25. Oh, do I minus 20? You don't trust me, but I said 5.
Sure, it's plug it in real quick.
Alright.
It is Goofy? Wait, what are we doing?
He's got trust issues.
It's 5.25.
Okay.
Louis? Yes,
All right. You got it.
I understand not trusting Jace. I'm not trusting
What?
I see how it is right here. When you
All right. So we've got our problem all set up. We have to go through and solve it. And the first thing we're gonna do, kind of like Billy said, is square root it.
Good job, Jace.
Yeah, nice. So we're gonna get x plus 4.5, and what is that gonna equal, Amelia? Yep.
2 point.
Square root of 5.25.
2.3.
Oh, okay, I got you. Is this your thing?
2.29.
Yeah, this is God.
It's 2.29. I didn't turn into homework.
You could. So we can do 2.3 if we're
We're
gonna
really,
round it.
really, really,
But
really
what else
lazy.
do we have?
I did it all, man.
Negative.
Yeah,
I hit
negative
the
2.3.
nose outside, but I know it's
Alright.
right here.
Then we have to go through and minus 4.5 everywhere. And Gabe, what is, plug the first one in. What's 2.3 minus 4.5? Wow.
2.3.
Yep, 2.3 minus 4.5. What'd you get? Negative 2 point what?
2.2.
Okay, I didn't hear the last part. And then what's negative 2.3 minus 4.5? Just toss in a negative right at the very front. It's going to be negative 7.8 maybe?
Nope.
Negative 6.8.
So, oh yeah, negative 6.
Or Goki.
I thought that was a 3.3.
I didn't trust you there, go because you had first mind things.
How did you get 2.3?
What did you get?
I got. When you square root 5.25?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2.29.
Which rounds up to 2.3.
Which one?
Hit the round?
No, you don't have to. You could have done 2.29. But Ivory was like, can I round it to 2.3? And I was like, sure.
It's much easier, Jace. You should try it.
I just ran with it.
EU.
Try.
Did
Wait,
you
so
say you
what?
would eat too?
It's so
Bro, did you hear that threat, Mr. Bulky?
Well, we still get the team.
Don't tell somebody you're gonna eat
Well, it'll be slightly different. So, for example, if Jace
Yeah,
did
Jace. But if he was like
2.29, he would probably get something closer to like negative 2.1 something.
That's nothing like
That's
what I
fine.
got.
You'll be fine.
Moses go.
Alright, so it's your guys' turn. I want you to do the one in the box.
I'm already done.
Whatever.
We haven't even started. Let's try.
Don't pay attention to me.
Do the one in the box.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I think we've had enough.
So remember, we are just in middle factoring. And to in middle factor, we got to get rid of our current C to make a new C that works.
Okay, go, Goki.
Right now, our current C is garbage. Yeah.
Can you come help me?
Yep.
Why do
Just
you
grabbing a pencil.
Yeah. My head looks very weird. I don't trust it.
So now do the square root thing.
Anyways.
Oh, hang
Wait, how
So,
the heck do you
close. Okay, so for your shortcut, that's right. But it's going to be in parentheses.
Why are you all SoundCloud?
And inside here is going to be X. And then let's move an extra X. Now do the square.
Wait, go.
Kenzie.
How do you do this?
So help me if I see a single sunflower seed in my desk.
I am not gonna. I promise you. I kind of spit when I did that.
Yeah.
I wish.
Alright, I'm here. Do I do? Is it gonna be a thing?
Don't mess with
I hang on to that for you, actually.
Dude, bro.
Texting my mom.
Case you're asking for it.
Ask me for it. I'm just kidding.
Wait for lamb.
I'm here. I'm
Lamb, lamb.
Why do you always blame everything I drink or eat?
Never smart guy.
You have a lot of caffeine or something, actually.
You like me.
That's me.
Well, it's like me.
No, just kidding. Not really. I had a robot earlier. I'm pretty sure I'm not.
You have a lot of caffeine.
Well, I smite me.
And then you square it?
Okay, first, 1.5. So we don't want to forget about that, because we're going to need that later on. And now do the square.
Square.
And whatever that equals.
So 1.5 square?
Yep. Which is, nope.
What?
Divided by
What?
I've been off the thing.
Just go.
Goki, man, I just want to listen to some six.
So do 2.25?
You guys doing pretty good? Keep going. We'll go over it in about a minute.
Okay, I'm done.
Boomer probably to go from the last time.
We do the X ticket after this?
Yeah. So if you're done early, you can start on your exit ticket.
Yes, I'm still on it.
It's not the.
Wait, what the heck?
Excuse you.
Lazy.
Excuse you.
I should make you do this one on the board.
Excuse you.
Just to punish you.
What, you minus it?
Yep, because it's positive, right?
Yeah. Wait, oh, come here.
You're a weird man, but
Come here. Would that be 0 then?
Be careful. So 4 we square root it. Remember, you have to add it until it's already there. You already had a negative 8 there, right? Alright, that actually should be positive because that's minus 2.
Oh, snap, I get it.
2.25 plus 8, and that's what will go right there. And that's what you squared.
So 2.25.
Same thing. So there was already, that should be a positive 8 plus 2 added on the right side. This should equal these two things added together. So it's actually going to be 10.25 right here.
So that'd be.
Yeah, other than that, you're perfect. You just got to add.
Alright, you guys doing pretty good?
Don't start it now.
Pretty good.
Hey, Jace. Stop.
Take your headphones out, we're not done yet.
Jace, stop. Right here.
That's not what pawn means. You're gonna insult me, do it right.
He's gonna rage. Can't listen to losing, Chad.
Oh, he's breathing heavily. That's not good.
So this one is. And we got a 1 So this it looks like it ended up what we told you.
I beat him next time.
You're welcome.
No, it was a draw.
He killed
I sabotaged it.
He killed himself so he wouldn't lose me.
No, I mean, so it'll equal that plus this.
Yes, you
It was a
did.
draw.
I had like,
Goki.
I had like 6 people left and he had like 1 king. He killed himself so it would be a draw.
I didn't even kill myself once.
So you were winning, but he outsmarted you enough to not lose.
Yeah, I could still
No, you
move.
didn't. You told him what to do.
I told you what to do too.
No, you're just going. And you said I was gonna move one place.
Alright, so let's go over this one. If you're not done, that's okay. You can keep working.
What if
And
Wait, do we?
I think we're back.
Nope.
Where are we back at? Whenever you answered the question.
Stop that, these
Gabe
guys.
answered the question.
Stop-
No, Moses.
stop there.
What's the first thing we should do?
You add 8 on both sides.
Yep, we're gonna add 8 to both sides. And we're gonna get x squared plus 3x equals 8.
Lily, you pawned?
Alright, Lily, when we go through, we gotta do the b divided by 2, right? So what's that gonna look like?
Did you get that?
3 divided by 2 squared.
And what's that gonna
You
equal?
would get 1.5 squared equals 2.25.
Alright, now what do I do with that 2.25?
I didn't do it again.
Moses did that aesthetic. I didn't ask you.
Where at?
13.
So you didn't know.
2.25. We add it to 8, and then it goes on the end. So we get 10.25. And then inside here, we're going to have x. And Luis, what's going to go in here next to the x? So help me if you say 27, I swear.
32.
26.
Oh, that was an awesome kill.
What's going to go inside next to the x right here? It is this piece right here. So plus 1.5. Like that. Alright. Greg, what should our next step be? Yep. Then we're going to square root it. And we're going to get x plus 1.5. And what's it going to equal, Ashlyn? What's the square root of the 10.5? Or 10.25, excuse me. What's the square root right there?
I didn't do it after
Like you. I'd like to do it right there.
Our Zara weight's trash.
No.
What? And what else do we need to have there, Kinsey? Not just 3.2.
Did it wrong.
Where are we? Hold on, 3.2. Oh, negative 3.2.
Negative 3.2. And Ruben, what's my last step?
What are we on? You minus 1.5.
Yep, we're going to minus 1.5 everywhere. And Jace, what do we get for our final answer?
Next equals 1 by 7 and negative 4/7.
Alright, okay. So, if you haven't started your exit ticket,
get started on it. I'm going to turn on Creative right now, and I will put your homework on the board. Or on Google Classroom, excuse me. What? On the Chromebook.
Yeah. Don't let him, don't do it, don't do it.